Centro Del Pueblo. And Kim will be the first to answer this question.
Thank you for having us here and for being here. I wanted to ask if you support Measure K, which is the Humboldt County Sanctuary Measure.
I do. I support Measure K. I think it is important for folks to feel safe. No human being is illegal. No human being is illegal. We need to remember that. Instead of tearing families apart, I believe it's important to create and support people into citizenship. And California is already a sanctuary state. And I appreciate in our area we actually have a program, English Express, who works to provide these opportunities. So I absolutely support Measure K.
Okay, Michelle, I'm sorry, we're going to take a different order. Michelle? Measure K.
No, I do not support Measure K. I believe it's a false sense of security because we're already a sanctuary state. I do not think that our local government can afford to go against the federal government. And I don't think that it's going to promote safety for these people. I think that being a sanctuary state, we need to let the state take care of the federal government, and if there's immigration issues, they need to work with them. As a mom, I do not support removing children from their families. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And what I really think is we just need a better path to citizenship for everybody.
Heidi?
Well, we have dear friends who were raised in the U.S. after their father was given amnesty from the Philippines during his assistance with American soldiers during World War II. And after their father died in the 1990s, the adult children and the wife were all deported back to the Philippines. It was my first encounter with the need for immigration reform in the United States. And it's unfortunate that the community, that the federal government has not put this as a top priority, because it really is an issue that hardworking, tax-paying community members are treated unfairly. And that's a critical piece for all of us, that people are treated fairly and with respect and with honor. Our governor has made California a sanctuary city, or a sanctuary state. And due to the current political climate, I voted to put in a resolution to protect every member of our community in Eureka, to which the Eureka Police Department already has agreed, and that is something that we put in almost 2 years ago now. So it is something that I truly care about, every human being, every person that is here, that we are all treated fairly.
Susan?
So I will be voting yes on Measure K. And I understand that the Eureka Police Department does have a policy, and it's a good policy, and it was a really good effort. But the national climate right now really, I think, demands that we make a concerted decision about how we treat immigrants. I feel like we have to say that we are not going to condone the harassment of documented citizens and legal citizens, and we're absolutely not going to condone the torture of undocumented citizens. So although there are things like the fact that we're a sanctuary state that already sort of oversees this, and the fact that federal could come in anyways, I really feel like this is important that we make a statement. This is who we are, and also celebrate what immigrants bring to this community and to America in general. And so I wanted to mention too, when I was growing up, I watched Schoolhouse Rock, because that's how old I am. And you know what? It wasn't an accurate portrayal of America. And there's lots of things that we can find that were not accurate, but it was aspirational. And so I grew up believing that we were a country who was big and powerful, and with that, we took care of people. And I feel like we just need to hold on to that until our country realizes that that's who we are again.
I don't support Measure K. We've already got a sanctuary state here in California, and the sheriff has pledged to follow those state law, which is what he should do. the same time, the sheriff has objected to the increased cost and paperwork required by Measure K. You know, I'm not an expert on what the sheriff has to do, but I take his word for it. I think he knows his job. If you look on the written part of Measure K, you know, page 10, page 12, page 13, all have paragraphs in them that are going to increase staff time and paperwork. I work at HSU. I know what that's all about. Anytime you have an extra thing of paperwork, it's going to take somebody some extra hours to get it done and pull all the information together. And it's, you know, somebody has to pay that staff time, and the county's already strapped, and you know, because that's why they had to have Measure Z and all that. So I don't really think that's an effective use of the sheriff's budget at this time. Page 14 claims that somehow there won't be any lawsuits filed over this. I'm not an attorney, but I somehow find that hard to believe. So I think that you know, right now, if there's a lawsuit, it's going to be the state that's going to be having to deal with it and have to pay any claims. But if we institute our own county one, guess what? We're all going to be paying those claims and paying those attorneys to defend this thing ourselves instead of the state. So I don't support it.
Okay.
It's going to come from Centro Del Pueblo, and that's from Emily Velez.
Hello, thank you for having us here. I'm Emily Velez, representing Centro Del Pueblo, and I wanted to ask everyone, do you support Measure K, the sanctuary county measure?
And that's the Jeanne.
Thank you very much. So I would state that the state of California already is a sanctuary state. The county of Humboldt is concerned with the cost of Measure K. The city of Eureka has already voted to protect its citizens. Sheriff Hansel has already stated that he's not turning anyone in something that they don't do unless it's a felony. And I would say to you that we are a nation governed by laws, and that no matter who you are, you don't get a pass if you're a felon or you break the law. It's unfortunate that some bad apples ruin it for those that are hardworking and honest individuals, but we are a nation of laws. And this is sort of beyond, it's a national issue, not only just a local issue, but I think Eureka has done its share. Thank you.
Natalie?
Well, I've already endorsed Measure K, and I believe a countywide approach is the way to go. At the core of my support is the desire for residents in our community to feel safe, be able to work, contribute to the local economy, send their kids to school, and contact law enforcement about their problems without fear. This doesn't mean that we won't focus on serious crimes. This doesn't preclude law enforcement from enforcing on crimes that are serious and significant in the community. And I want law enforcement to be able to enforce these laws, keeping our community safe. The Eureka Police Department has finally been able to increase officer staffing thanks to providing raises and some intensive recruitment that we've been doing. And we have a backlog of need for problem-oriented policing, code enforcement, and traffic patrols. I want our officers to be able to focus on serious crimes, not be tied up doing the job of the federal government. As a federal employee with the Coast Guard Reserve, when I'm on duty, I expect to do my job. I'm not going to send EPD out to investigate an oil spill in federal waters, for example. And I think the reverse is true as well. There's no reason I see for EPD or other regional law enforcement to be doing a federal job when we have limited resources and great need for policing in our community. And so that's why I'm fully in support of Measure K.
Anthony?
So this might make some of you feel a little bit uncomfortable when we talk about Measure K, because it sounds like it's good policy. It sounds good, this idea that we want to keep families together. I don't think anybody wants to keep families together more than I do, and I really mean that. But sometimes policies actually do more damage than good. As Jeanne mentioned, yes, we're already a sanctuary state, so if you're on board with it, we've already got that going on. But here's where it's a serious problem, and here's how I would argue it actually hurts families, the families you want to help. Let's say that ICE wants to talk to somebody in the jail. They call up local PD. Local PD says, well, no, we got this Measure K on the books. We can't really help you set this up. So what happens is ICE doesn't just go away. ICE shows up, because they're the federal government. They show up and they go to the family of that inmate. They go and see his mom, his dad, they visit his uncles, and at 4 in the morning, they're knocking on doors. At 4 in the morning, they're harassing people. I want to keep ICE working with the jails, working with our professionals. I don't want them just showing up anytime they feel like it to people's homes, hauling people away, and making a scene. And I think we should keep families together. But if Measure K were better written, I would probably support it. Here's the problem. Measure K is 15 pages. The first 7 are just sort of a all-around condemnation of the U.S. government. Well, look, make it more focused. Pick an actual issue to fight. Don't just, if you read Measure K, and I encourage you to do it, it's only 15 pages. The first 7 pages attack the U.S. government on all these different, and some of it I actually agree with, but they attack the U.S. government on all these different points. And I'm sorry, this is important. If you want to keep families together, which I believe you do and I do too, this is important. Rewrite Measure K, actually make it do something constructive, and I will be the first to support it. I mean that.
Hailey.
That is an interesting point, Anthony. So I want to say that yes, I am in support of Humboldt County as a sanctuary. People traveling in this area should feel safe to call first responders, get fair treatment and support from the community. But I would also like everyone to know that California is already a sanctuary. Governor Jerry Brown signed a sanctuary state bill that limits cooperation with local law enforcement and federal immigration. That's great. I would also like all people to know that our local law enforcement does not typically involve themselves with immigration status and enforcing immigration law. I've spoken with multiple law enforcement officers, the county sheriff, different sheriff deputies, Chief Watson, and I'm aware of their current policy and feel that they're doing a great job right now in regards to this issue. Lastly, I just want to say always remember to call the police if you witness a crime or if you're a victim, no matter what color you might be, or what you know what I'm saying. No matter what country you might be from, or if you're just traveling through. So, thank you.
Leslie?
I am proud to be an endorser of Measure K. I also read the measure and found that the first pages really set the context for the measure, which I feel like is valuable when we're creating law. I'm also a supporter of pathways to citizenship for people, so that ultimately then perhaps we won't need measures as strong as Measure K because people will be citizens. But we all have to have something we're working towards. I believe it's important to respect all people's rights. I also support Measure K because the people who are most vulnerable in this community came forward with this proposal, and I value them. Measure K protects children and families. It encourages reporting of people because they're not afraid of being deported, of crimes. Thank you. We all saw, the national news and the terrible sorrow of children being separated from their families. And, I don't think that's the kind of place I want to live in. And citizens do make the laws, people make the laws, and we can create laws that value people. The cost of Measure K is very low for the protection it provides. One of the largest potential costs would be protecting children whose parents were taken away, and I think that's worth it. We wouldn't have argued at the cost. I went to the rally on Wednesday, and I saw Brian Jessup speak, the Unitarian pastor, and we wouldn't have balked at the cost of protections during the Civil Rights era and for slavery, for ending slavery. I would like to see Humboldt be a shining example for people. I think we can do that. I think it's a beautiful thing to bring to this community.
Carolyn?
As far as Measure K, no, I do not support, and the residents of Ward 1 that I have spoken to do not support Measure K. We believe the law is the law and should be followed. On top of that, where is the excess money that this would cost us coming from? there has to be a tax increase in there somewhere, and I don't want to be blindsided by it later after the proposition is passed. I'm not for increasing taxes just for the sake of increasing taxes. On the other hand, I strongly believe in helping those who are attempting to follow our rules. I believe in helping DACA applicants that are trying to become citizens. I met a family going door to door where the mother, her license expired and she had to go down to San Francisco to get it renewed and couldn't afford the trip there and back. I would have no problem, and I offered, and she said no, but I have no problem starting a fundraiser or having an event to raise money to help her and her family get down and get her license renewed, because she's trying to follow our laws, jump through all of our hoops, trying to become naturalized, and I have no problem with that. I have a problem with people that are here illegally or undocumented and then want protection. I can't get protection from the law. I don't see why that would be okay to give it to someone who's not a citizen of this country. So we're not in favor of it. I'm sorry. Thank you.
And again, I'll ask the audience to hold their comments. John.
No, I do not support Measure K. I do support legal and open immigration. I want to see an expanded legal immigration system that will allow workers to come in during certain times of the year when California needs workers, and then lets them go home free and without interruption. Sanctuary cities, counties, states encourages illegal immigration. Illegal immigration has an unintended effect on the depressing wages and benefits for the rest of the workers in the state. Also too, like it's been said before, this Measure K for Humboldt County is unnecessary because California is already a sanctuary state, and there is talk that there's going to be lawsuits involved. That's going to be expensive. Why get Humboldt County wrapped up in paying for these legal fees? So I do not support Measure K. I do support an expanded legal immigration system.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
Sorry, sorry.